Hi Pisces, how's it going? Welcome back. This is my second Pisces reading ever for my new channel. Really excited to be with you guys. It's funny because during Libra season, the same cards were coming up over and over again for all of the signs. And as I go into my second cycle now, as we enter Scorpio season, the cards are very different. There's a very different energy going on, and as this kind of move forward, which is taking place, we were before in a kind of, not a stalemate, but we were being asked to be patient and kind and wise and just chill, right? And to stop sort of pushing and to just be. That was very much the energy from the Libra season that's just been. And we're very much into a different kind of energy here, which I see very much signified by the Tower. The Tower from the Major Arcana is one of the most important cards from the tarot. It's a card of chaos, but I've always seen it as a kind of good chaos, especially when it's combined with the Death card, which suggests a kind of rebirth, right? Something new is about to take place, something is brewing. The universe is kind of preparing something. You've been really patient, you've been planning for quite a long time. This card says patience et planification, which in French means patience and planification. It's very much a card of Libra energy, right? Which is where we've just come from. And I feel like you have been doing this for a while. You've been working really hard on something. You've been really, really focused. And as Pisceans, we tend to kind of, because we feel everything so deeply, right? I'm Pisces myself. It's quite easy for our mind to go all over the place and for us to kind of project like months or years ahead, because we have this vision quest ability of like seeing the future before it's happened. And I think what's difficult with having to be patient and having to plan for a Piscean is that because we kind of feel like we know what's coming, we're like, but hold on a second, I can see on the horizon line, I can see the sun, like, why am I still so far away from it? Why am I not like facing into the sun, like getting sunburned almost, you know? And so we're desperate for that heat and for that change. And that's exactly what this card signifies. You know, we're literally being thrown out of the building, right? The thunder has struck. Now, thunder striking usually signifies kind of the arrival for me of something. Like, because we're water signs, the idea that fire would come out of the sky and that it would be kind of enraptured by the air, it's so us, right? It's so potent and it's so forward moving and kind of fast paced. And that's exactly what we want at the moment, because I feel like there's so many ideas flying around. We're being blessed with all of these downloads, right, of all of these kind of images or visions at the moment of what we want. And it seems so real in our head and in our heart, like so real. And it is real, basically, is what this reading is saying. We open the reading with triumph, which I just love. And what that means to me is that everything that's in your head and in your heart at the moment is absolutely real. It's not just in your head and in your heart, like it's actually being manifested. Like the universe has stepped in and has said, okay, I've listened to what you've been asking for. I've been listening to your prayers. They are very well-deserved prayers in that they've been visions in your mind for so long. And instead of just seeing the visions or sitting in that kind of energy when you know change is coming, it's got to that stage now where you kind of know what you want the change to be, whatever that means to you, you know, in your career or in your love life. Début de la prospérité. The beginning of prosperity. Look how those fruits are literally jumping out of that tree. Now, you've been building that tree. You've been watering the ground for such a long time, for several months, maybe even years at this point. And instead of the tree just kind of sitting there wisely and kindly, it's like the tree, the fruit is like jumping off the tree, right? Coming in your direction as a gift, like all of these gifts. And it's not just one gift. In this card, it's 4 gifts, which I just love. Security, very similar energy. This kind of love and joy surrounding flora. This idea of a birth, of something growing from the ground towards the heavens. into the light, into the heat, which, you know, is the same as this, right? It's that kind of skull energy. It's like something is ending. The bullshit is over. The waiting is over. Thank God, right? But what I love about it, and this is so classically Piscean, we're desperate for those things to happen, right? We pray for them, we want them, we know exactly what we want, we send the energy out there, we're so communicative with the universe all the time, to the point where it's exhausting for us. But what that means is that the universe can hear us so clearly when we're speaking. And classic Piscean, it happens, right? What we want comes out of the sky, it comes jumping off of the tree. And we show temperance because we're so thankful for it. We are so thankful. I see those two jugs as the two fish, you know, swimming in different directions, which is what our sign is. Now, instead of the fish swimming in different directions, which can be quite hectic energy, I feel like the fish are now aligned and they're swimming this way, upstream. That's exactly what's happening. Your two personalities, your two selves, your light self and your shadow self are being united. You're not swimming, you're not like drowning in the waterfall anymore. The water isn't falling on your head, it's behind you and you're in control of it. Look at those two lovely frogs just like sitting there watching, waiting for something wonderful to happen. That for me signifies self-love. It's like a joining. It's like the stress being completely blown out by, temperance, by your ability to temper yourself, by your ability to say, okay, I know what I want, it's coming my way, and now I can just relax, right? But you're not really relaxing. You're relaxing in that you don't, but Piscean will never sit there and say, oh, everything that I wanted is coming my way, and I think that's so wonderful, and I deserve it, right? We never sort of speak about our prosperity, because we think it's inappropriate. We're much more we're much more grounded than that. We talk about it a lot when it's coming or when we want it. And when it arrives, or when we know that it's coming, like we can see it just there. We're like, okay, now it's time to just... And we're so thankful. But of course, in our subconscious, we're still, full steam ahead. Because we're people who make things happen. We really are. We ask for it, it comes to us, and then we get on the horse and we just go so fast towards it. But we always look like we're in this energy. We always look, once we've arrived, like everything is super chilled, we're just really happy, we're just really thankful, which we are, all of those things. But we're also never ones to just sit and do nothing. Now, the last few months have caused a huge amount of anxiety for us because we knew what we wanted and it was really slow to come. At least that's been my experience. And so what these cards are asking us, with this one in particular, passer à autre chose, move on to something else. What it means is, no, don't actually move on to something else. Stick to what you want to do. What it means is move on from that energy of being anxious and wanting. Because to want is quite exhausting, isn't it, on a regular basis? When we spend our days asking and praying for things in our conscious lives and our subconscious lives when we're sleeping, it's really tiring. Because what it means is that our sleep is super, super deep and heavy. Or it goes the other way where it's not deep at all and it's just you can't sleep. But there's none of that kind of like, I feel like most people go to sleep, they just go to sleep and then they wake up and then they get on with their day. I feel like with us, it's like one or the other. It's like either this deep, 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 deep sleep where we're so restful and we're just recharging our batteries, right? Because our days are so intense. It's either that or it's like, oh my God, I can't sleep, and you're kind of speaking to the moon looking through the window. But we've shown great integrity the last few months. We've just learned how to calm down. We've learned how to ask for what we want. We've learned how to integrate the ways in which we are going to get what we want. And because of this integration, intégrité, because of our desire for that beautiful kind of purple sunset, because of our desire for the happy ending, for the love story, right, with ourselves, which is basically what this is. The death and the tower have come into full swing, and this is exactly what we wanted. We kind of wanted a tower moment. We were sort of getting a bit bored waiting. We were getting a bit bored in this kind of patience energy. Well, certainly I was. Because I felt like I had arrived already. I felt like I had really worked on myself. And I'd learned to just chill my boots. And of course, the second you learn to do that, the second you learn to be the Empress, in all of her joy and all of her good sense and her divine femininity, once we arrive at this, and the cloak of gold is put on our shoulders, because we've learnt to be calm, we've learnt to believe, right? Then bam, this comes out of the sky, the thunder, the fireworks. And we move full steam ahead. Now, in our lessons card today, what I love is that we got indifférence and reconnaissance. Now, this can mean two things, indifference and to be known, right? Reconnaissance, to know, to be known, to be famous, to have arrived. Now, indifference, of course, can mean that you're doing something and you felt like you weren't being seen. Like maybe you were working on a project for a long time and no one was really kind of giving a shit. What's happened is that this has now been flipped around and you're going into the light, towards the reconnaissance, towards the reward. But what it also means is indifférence can mean a kind of indifference to life, right? This sort of like, almost like giving up. Because I think when you've waited for so long for something, you do tend to, we are planners and we are very patient. Actually, a lot of people think that we're not. We are patient because we know that what we're owed will come to us. We know that the seed will give birth to the beautiful tree. We always believe in our own good luck, right? That Neptunian energy. We know that it's there. We know that Neptune is there. We know that the good luck is shining on us all the time. It's just a case of waiting for the thunder to strike. And the thunder has really struck. So yeah, we have, as well as triumph, we have new beginnings, nouveau commencement. Sorry, all of my cards are in French because I'm living in France, so all of my decks are in French, but look at her, she is in charge of the universe. She's on top of the world, literally. And she's ready for the next stage. She's not just waiting for the next stage to happen, she's ready to go. Just like this guy is on his horse. It's exactly the same energy. And because you've been able to tap into that self-consciousness, conscience de soi, you're now supported by Mother Nature. Look at those birds behind you. Again, they're behind you. A little bit like the waterfall, it's behind you, right? You're not facing it, talking to it. You're moving full steam ahead. You have been blessed by nature, so it's now time to move forwards. Look at her, look at this movement forwards. She's also walking towards her destiny. This lady is walking towards her destiny. Nature is behind her and these two birds. She is supported by those birds. She is supported by her own freedom, her own free will. Absolutely love it. It's so beautiful. Sorry guys, my phone is a little bit slippery and it's standing on a glass surface, so sometimes it falls over. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, you see, you've shown integrity, right? You've shown the universe that you're a good person and that you will do everything you need to do in order for that project to come to fruition. It's funny because whilst I see us Pisceans in this card, I also see a woman who is going to be quite pivotal, I believe, in your progress. Is there a wise woman in your life who's a little bit like a teacher? Same energy here. Has she been waiting for you to learn these lessons? She's been waiting for you. She's been waiting for you to deliver on the fruit from your tree. And now that you have, she's willing to step in. Yeah, she kind of wanted to see the temperance. She kind of wanted to see that you were just, you knew how to be chill, right? Because we weren't for a long time, I feel like. Well, certainly I wasn't. It's kind of oscillation between feeling great and not feeling great. And what the temperance suggests is that we've kind of been able to find that happy medium between the two, which is the only way that we can progress. It's the only way that we can find the strength to handle this, which is what's coming now in the month of November. I'd say between now and the first couple of weeks, or third week of November, the thunder strikes, we jump on our horse, we're on top of the world, moving forwards, with nature supporting us. We are in love with ourselves again. And as a result of that, the flowers have come back into bloom. I love that because if we think about it, Libra and Scorpio sit obviously in the autumn season. And when we think about the autumn, we think about the leaves falling and things dying, don't we? But they have to do that in order to come into a rebirth in the spring. And that's very much paralleling what's going on with our own lives. It's like a mirror. The season is like a mirror for us, from autumn into spring, right? Or autumn into winter, the death, the tower, the end of something. Autumn, winter energy, this. Into the light, into the rainbow, and the sun. There's a lot of rainbows in the spring, at the beginning of the spring, end of March, April. A lot of rainbows because obviously the sun's trying to shine through the clouds again, and the rain is still happening because the rain is feeding those trees that have shed and those flowers that need to be reborn. So the rain is actually very important in the spring, obviously, and it's that combination of light and water which can bring everything back to life again. A death is happening in order for the rebirth to take place. But the rebirth, we won't need to wait until the spring. I mean, in the spring, it'll be in full swing. But right now, I think what this energy is saying is that the triumph is kind of coming and you know it, whilst you might not be able to see it fully, obviously, yet. By the time the spring is here, it'll be in full swing and it's already going to start happening. I would say third week of November. That's what I feel like in my gut. But it's been months, right, of us working towards this. Months and months. So we deserve it, guys. We deserve this. Do not for 1 second think that you don't deserve it. We need to fall out of that energy. That's the energy that we've been in for ages, isn't it? I mean, certainly that's the energy that I've been in. Thinking, God, I want all this stuff. I want all these, not stuff, I want all these things to happen, good things that will make me happy. And all I can do right now is just work really, really hard for those things to come into action, into play, so that they can manifest. And now that I'm able to move on from my anxiety and on from my worrying and endless questioning, the triumph happens thanks to the integrity that I've shown and the calm that I've shown. So I love it. This is going to happen, but we're tempered about it. So these two cancel each other out. The Tower moment can be a very scary moment, but not when it's combined with the Temperance. I love that there's 4 fruits on this. I wonder if it's 4 opportunities. Because it's so typical of Piscean to think of one opportunity. Right? I want one thing. What if that one thing, materialized into being 4 things? What if you worked so hard and you'd prayed so much and so well that actually that one becomes 4? Well, that suggests to me that there's kind of these endless opportunities that are going to come in. It's similar with this energy. You've got rid of this small amount of anxiety and pain, and as a result, all of this abundance comes in. And again, it's not just one ray of light, it's several. It's stunning, I love it. Into the light. Gorgeous, guys, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And well deserved. Congratulations. I feel like those are in order, right? Congratulations. Well done for doing it. You did it. So what you've always wanted is coming. I can see it all. It's all over these cards. The rainbow is going to shine through the dark clouds. The dark night of the soul is over. Fantastic. I love it. I hope that was helpful in solidifying what it is that you probably already feel inside. You know that good things are coming. So I'm happy to be able to just confirm that for you. And I'll do another reading in a couple of weeks to see where we're at in terms of this reading. We should be quite far ahead, right? We should be away from the tower, moving into this prosperity and these new beginnings. Brilliant. So speak to you in a couple of weeks, Pisces. Thanks so much. If you like this reading, please do comment, subscribe, or like below. And I'll see you again soon. Bye, guys.